Whether you've created your website yet or not, I want you to think about an email list. There are a few reasons why email lists are so powerful for people using content to drive traffic to their websites. I want to walk you through a few of those reasons, but then we're going to focus mostly in this video on how you're going to get people to sign up for that email list. Now, I want to thank HubSpot for sponsoring this video. They've put together a great free resource that's going to help you kickstart your own email marketing strategy. And I'll share a little bit more about that and how you can get it later on in this video. The first reason is that your own email list is your own. You're not dependent upon anybody else's platform. It's your list. So no matter what happens, you're going to be able to connect with those people who have signed up for your email list. The second reason is that blog traffic is really transactional. People come read a blog post and they leave, and they often even forget what the website was that gave them the answer that they so needed. Before somebody's willing to trust you enough to make a purchase, whether it's of your product or of an affiliate product that you recommended to them, most often they're going to need multiple touch points with you, with your brand, with your website, before they're going to have that level of trust. So having an email list gives us an opportunity to bring traffic back and have multiple touch points. The third reason is that it's way easier to retain a customer than to attract a new one. Whether somebody just purchased an affiliate product through you or they actually bought something on your website, in a way they're your customer. They're somebody that has shown some trust in you. Keeping that customer is way more effective and more efficient than trying to constantly get new ones. I've alluded to this, but the fourth reason is that whether or not you plan to ever sell your own product, an email list can be incredibly valuable for things like affiliate marketing, but also for directing traffic back to your website. So today I want to show you how you can start capturing people in that email list today, totally for free. And then in the next video, I'm going to walk you through the kind of content you should be sending out to that email list to help warm them up and keep them active in your brand. So in the first minute or so of this video, I've already given you multiple reasons why you need an email list. I hope I've already convinced you of that. So we're going to talk now about how we're going to create it. To give you an idea of perspective of what you can expect from an email list, I want to share just a couple numbers real quick. According to Data Driven Marketing, most sites are getting an opt-in rate of about 0.5% to 1%. So what that means is that for each 100 people that come to the website, on average, most websites are getting less than one of them to actually sign up for their email list. Now, Data Driven Marketing has a good blog post that goes through these numbers as well as some other ones, how to calculate your own numbers from your website, what those numbers should be, etc. We'll link to it in the description below. But basically what they're saying is about a 2% opt-in rate is considered good. A 5% opt-in rate is like great. And the highest opt-in rate that even they've helped their clients get to is about 8%, which, believe it or not, is pretty astounding. So what we're saying is that not everyone that comes to your website is ever going to click on your email list. We're getting the people that are most interested, and that's actually a good thing. We wouldn't want to pay to be sending emails out every week, every month, whatever it is, to a bunch of people that aren't interested. We actually want to keep our email list cultivated. We want to focus on those people that are most interested in our brand because they're most interested in the topics that we write about, as well as in the types of resources that we're able to create for them. This is the ideal customer pool for you. If you ever have an info product or you have a really good affiliate offering that you want to promote to these people, these are going to be the ideal people to send it to. So what's the strategy to actually get these people to sign up? Well, first of all, we need to start by thinking a little bit about what our long-term goal is. Now, this can be hard. If you don't have some idea of an info product or some affiliate offering that you're going to send out, it might be hard to consider what is my long-term goal with this email list? But I want to walk you through an example so you can see what I'm talking about here. On our website, cookforfolks.com, the main focus is about cooking for groups of people. So we're not talking about just creating a meal for yourself or for a date night or something like that. We're talking about when we're cooking for groups, big families, events, that sort of stuff. So the people that are reading the content on this website, oftentimes they're preparing for some sort of event. That could be something like a wedding or a birthday party or something. It could also have to do with a seasonal holiday, those sorts of things. These people are often trying to figure out how much of different foods they need to prepare depending on the size of the group that's coming. They oftentimes are just looking for ideas of the types of foods that they should prepare given the type of event that it is. So there's an audience for my website that's pretty ideal, that is essentially the people who who are gonna host an event, but who don't do this regularly. That's my audience. So a big part of the audience coming to this website are people who are preparing food for some sort of upcoming event. Well, knowing that is great, because in the future, I may be able to create some sort of info product that would be highly applicable to them. And as I'm doing affiliate marketing, I'm gonna be thinking about the kinds of products that are gonna be most beneficial to that group of people. So as I'm trying to attract people in general to my email list, I wanna create some sort of resource that's gonna be really interesting, really intriguing, or really helpful to that group of people. So how are we gonna attract these people to an email list? Well, the best way to do this is through some sort of a lead magnet. A lead magnet is essentially a resource that we create that we give away to people who are subscribed to our email newsletter. So for Cook for Folks, for example, what type of lead magnet could I create? Well, I might put together some sort of maybe holiday specific offer that I could change over time. I'll show you how this might work in just a little bit. But maybe it's because, upcoming soon, probably the nearest holiday here in the US where people really prepare and hold an event and give out food is maybe Halloween. It's a little ways off still, but maybe I could create a cool lead magnet, something that I could give them that would help them prepare for a Halloween party. And then as soon as Halloween's either about here or just after it passes, I could switch out the lead magnet and provide them with something that's Thanksgiving related, or Thanksgiving/Christmas related, or any of the other holidays around that time frame. Once that's passed, I could maybe do something related to Valentine's Day, maybe St. Patrick's, maybe Easter. We got all of these different holidays coming all throughout the year. And so I could just keep the next one queued up. And essentially, it's the same kind of lead magnet. It's the same guide, but it's specifically catered to that particular holiday. Now that may sound pretty complex, and it kind of is. So realistically, what I would probably do is create a nice guide that helps people plan for events. And then what I could offer in the newsletter is specific tips related to various holidays, maybe even ideas lists of certain foods and activities associated with those holidays. Could just be part of the normal newsletter. Something to keep in mind when it comes to lead magnets, this is something that John Ainsworth, again from Data Driven Marketing, said when I interviewed him here on this channel. He said that a lead magnet needs to be a resource that is immediately usable and immediately helpful to the person that's downloading it. If it is, then it's gonna be easy to get people to sign up for your email list. Now, I said that basically any of you should be considering doing this for your website, and I think that is absolutely true. However, I don't think I'd put a lot of time into creating this lead magnet until you've at least written your first 30 to 50 posts, not because I think it's a waste of time, but because the more important thing to do is create that content and get people organically coming to the website. The lead magnet can wait just a little bit until you've gotten there. Now, notice I gave you a content number, not a traffic number. I'm not worried about how much traffic you have. If you've written 50 posts, but you're only 2 months in and the traffic isn't coming yet, it's okay at this point to take a little bit of time to focus on creating a lead magnet. That's because with a little bit of time, that content is gonna start driving traffic. But until we've written those first at least 30 blog posts, you probably don't really have enough content on your site for it to really do much for you. Okay, so now we have the mind working a little bit on ideas for your lead magnet. So at this point, we can go create our email list and our first sign up form. Now here, I'll put a link again in the description. At incomeschool.com/tools/email, I have a list of recommendations there based upon your specific situation of our favorite email providers. I want you to go check out that list. It's gonna help guide you through who you should pick. And then I'm gonna show you some really cool ways in just a minute that we can direct people over to that form. But first I gotta show you this really cool and free resource from HubSpot. It's this email marketing kit for startups and entrepreneurs, and it's gonna really help you to make the best use of this email list that we're creating. When you go ahead and download this kit, you're gonna get a bunch of stuff. Let me show you. This beginner's guide to email marketing. It's got so much great information in just this one resource here, including information on staying compliant so you make sure your email address isn't getting blacklisted by the big email providers because you did something wrong. There's a lesson here on email subject lines with 100 different examples of subject lines that people actually click on. This guide to A/B testing for your email list to help optimize the marketing that you're doing through the email list. A/B testing is really powerful, and this guide is gonna help you learn how to do that on your own email list. You get multiple templates and guides for how to write awesome emails, how to write newsletters that don't suck. Here's another one on how to write the perfect email, all full of awesome information, as well as giving you specific templates for various types of newsletters that are gonna depend a little bit on the industry you're in. So there's not any like one template that's perfect, and this is gonna teach you how to come up with the right one for you. And then they also have this cool template. It's a spreadsheet template to help you plan out the emails that you're going to send, as well as how to track some of the analytics that come in after the fact, so you can make sure that you're learning from the emails that you're sending out and optimizing your emails for the future. This is all totally free, and honestly, it was a really helpful resource. I think even if you've been doing email marketing for a while, I have, and honestly, going through all of this stuff just in this free offer, I learned some really cool things that I'm gonna be making sure I do in my own email marketing going forward. So make sure you click on the link in the description. I'll also put it in the pinned comment below this video, so you can go ahead and get this totally free resource. Okay, so now we have to talk about the elephant in the room, which obviously is, how are we gonna get people to actually click over to that email form and sign up? I've been waiting to tell that joke for like 15 minutes. This is one of the coolest tips I've ever heard, and that I really wanted to make sure I shared. We're gonna create a graphic ad for our own email list that we can place throughout our content. That exit intent pop-up is kind of cool, but at the same time, it's not my favorite way. Let me show you what this looks like. Earlier today, I personally created this, this graphic. I went ahead and I got this. This is actually a stock photo. Ideally, I'd actually use a photo of me or Anna, since we're the personalities on this website, but Anna's on a trip today, so I wasn't able to do that. But I went ahead and I threw this together for now. And then I put together the stuff that was most valuable, most important about the lead magnet that they're gonna get, as well as a little bit of what they're gonna get in the newsletter, this seasonal specifics for the holidays. That's one of the things I plan to give out over time in the newsletter. So this is something that I can actually put on my website. Let me show you the really cool way that I would implement this myself. So here I'm in a blog post on my website, and somewhere early on, maybe right here, I'm actually gonna go ahead and I'm gonna insert a block. It's gonna be an image block. It's not gonna be that one actually. It's gonna be a different one. I created this. It looks like a button. Let me insert it here. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna center it. I'm gonna make it a bit smaller, maybe 300 wide. Yeah, that makes it look a little bit more like a button. I'm gonna put a link here. So then what I'll do is I'll paste a URL for where I actually placed the form. I'm gonna open in a new tab so people don't lose their spot in the article they're reading. Then I'm gonna do this. This is awesome. I'm going to add to reusable blocks, and I'm gonna name this Free Guide Red Button. What that's gonna allow me to do is it's gonna allow me to go put that same block in a bunch of other blog posts. It's already formatted exactly like this. But what's really cool is in the future, if I wanna update this button, maybe I wanna change the text of the button or the styling of the button, I can go change it in one blog post, save it, and it's gonna update in every blog post that uses that same block. Pretty cool, huh? Then at the bottom of the blog post, and I'll probably do this in every blog post. So then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go add another block that's an image. And here I'm gonna put in that, that cool ad that I made. I wanna set this to a width of, I'm gonna call it, say 900. I don't want it gigantic. I might end up going with more like even 600. We'll see how this looks when we're done. Then I'm gonna add another image, and you guessed it, I'm gonna put a button. Now this one looks a little bit different than the other one. It's just a slightly different styling, but I am gonna go ahead and make it 300 wide and center it as well. Add a link, paste the same URL, open it in a new tab, voila. I could even make this image a link too, just in case. I'm gonna open it in a new tab, and I wanna go ahead and align this center. Open it in a new tab, there we go. And I'm gonna update this post. Now let's go see what this thing looks like. All right, so now we're here in the blog post, and I've got this cool thing. I mean, it's basically a button. And if they click on it, it's gonna take them over to a sign up page. And then here at the bottom of the blog post, same thing, except it's more like an ad. It's just gonna show up at the bottom of my blog post. And then what I can do is I can go through my analytics, pick the pages on my website that get the most traffic, and start by adding this to those pages. Over time, maybe I'll add it to all the pages on my website, but at the very beginning, I'm gonna focus on the ones that get the most traffic. I also may focus on the ones that seem most relevant for the people I want on this email list. Let me go ahead and show you what it looks like on the sign up page. I haven't spent a ton of time on this. Again, you can set this up literally in minutes. I went ahead and I put the same ad here, but it's without the link. Obviously, it's to this page. Then I put a little information, again, just the same information that I had in the pop-up sign up form, just about what they can expect. And then they can put in their email, first and last name. get their free guide, and now I have their name on an email list. It's really important to keep this in mind. On this sign up page, we really do need to sell them on the lead magnet. What is so cool about the lead magnet you've created? Now, I haven't finished making mine yet, so I'll probably have more really cool stuff to say about it once I've finished creating it. Until then, I'll actually probably go remove those signups from my website. Next, we need to make sure we're selling them on the content of the newsletter. Basically, we need to frame this information in a way that they're gonna be interested in the ongoing content, the ongoing value they're gonna get, not just what they get in the lead magnet. And then what we need to do is write our first great email. This is gonna be that welcome email that contains the lead magnet that we promised them. It's gonna have some sort of download or link to that lead magnet. But you're also gonna wanna have some text in this email. And so you're maybe gonna wanna talk about, again, what they're gonna be able to expect in the future from you, just why your email list is so cool, maybe even some other really cool tips that aren't part of the lead magnet, but just kind of gives them a flavor for what your future newsletters are gonna look like. Now, next week, we're gonna talk again in great detail on the kind of content that you're gonna wanna be sending out to the people who signed up for this list. So make sure you don't miss that video. For those of you watching this in the future, a link to that video is right here covering the top of my elephant. And for all of you, make sure again that you click that link in the description or in the pinned comment below to get that awesome free resource from HubSpot. There's really no reason not to do it. And now I sign off. We'll see you in the next video.